Why don't you just move? That's right, baby. It's time for movie trailer trash. Enjoy.
Hey everybody, this is Movie Trailer Trash. I'm Bethany.
And my name is Charlie.
And we just watched the trailer for A Quiet Place.
Yes.
And apparently Charlie says, why don't you just move? Which, if you haven't seen the trailer yet, didn't make any sense to you.
Well, I thought it was very common knowledge that you're supposed to watch the trailer before this and then listen.
That's the thing. So if you're new to our podcast, go ahead and take a moment to watch the trailer, and then you can listen to us.
Exactly. And we're going to talk about A Quiet Place, which is a horror movie.
Starring John Krasinski and Emily Blunt.
You really wanted to get that in there before me.
It's John Krasinski's directorial debut.
That's a lie.
It's not? What? What?
He's directed...
Then who lied to me? Why would people lie to me?
He's directed a movie called The Hollers.
Okay, so you're saying he's directed movies before, but he is directing this movie.
Yeah.
So that's not a lie.
But it's not a debut.
Well, it sounds like it is because...
No, debut means the first movie you've directed.
Okay, but did he actually direct movies, or were they little tiny show episodes and
something
stuff?
called The Hollers, a movie called The Hollers, and a movie called Brief Interviews with Hideous Men. And then he directed 3 episodes of The Office.
Well, I bet you anything and everything this is the first movie released in theater that he directed.
No, The Hollers was released in theater.
No,
I remember
there's
seeing
no
ads
way.
for it.
I bet not.
It's like a terrible, family, comedy type thing where, all the members of the family are together and they're,
okay, but I'm just saying, I doubt
it's like
that.
a really, watered down version of
I'm
Meet the
guessing they're
Parents.
calling it his directorial debut because it's his first
Good
time
one.
in the limelight. Yeah. Okay, so I'll say this. First of all, as you've probably seen if you watch the trailer, it's basically a horror movie where the concept is something is after them, something is hunting them, but apparently it's blind. It can only hear. I mean, worse, I'm assuming.
Whatever it is, it's a
they gotta
thing
be quiet
that is
to avoid it.
hunting them, and they have to be quiet, and if they make any noise at all,
it can find them.
And eat them, probably.
And the... I liked the line at the very end of the trailer. It said silence is survival. And I liked that.
I thought I was going to say silence is golden.
Exactly. That's why I liked it, is that they changed it on you. They said silence, and you're waiting for it to say is golden.
I liked
and it was
on Facebook.
Is survival.
All right. Okay, so
as
this
a copywriter,
movie,
I thought it was a good line.
And it's this thing, and they're in the middle of the woods and everything.
Well,
and
it looks like they're in the middle of the woods. It was weird how it started. Like the kid was all alone in a cornfield. There's some weird stuff about it, but okay, I guess they own a farm.
Studio bought 20 tons of corn to be planted.
Weird. Why didn't they just go film in a cornfield somewhere?
I don't know. Maybe they had a specific place they wanted to be.
Yeah, well, and maybe it's not that easy to film in a cornfield.
Maybe it wasn't corn season. Maybe it was during the soybean season.
Well, or also most cornfields aren't just, available for filming. It's like, I got to harvest this.
I think they would be. I think if you give a farmer multiple millions of dollars.
Good point. Well, anyway, the point is it was probably cheaper for them to buy a bunch of corn and grow and plant it than it was to go to a farm. But I like the concept just because it's very different. I feel like it's going with a trend that I've noticed in horror films recently, which is kind of the use of your 5 senses as part of the...
Take away one thing.
Yeah, take away one thing. So we have...
Take away all of them except for one.
Well, yeah, so
Maybe?
Well, in this one, you're taking away one thing. Sound.
Well, and then there's Hush.
But that's what I was going to say. So there's Hush, which was a movie about a woman who is blind? Deaf. Okay, so she's deaf, but she can see. And so people break into her house and they have to just not be seen. And then, right? And then there's the other one where the guy's blind.
There's 2, and I get them confused all the time. One of them is where the woman is deaf, and one of them is where the woman is blind.
No, the guy is
blind. The guy is blind. Yeah, don't breathe.
Don't breathe. And so in that movie, the idea is he's blind, so don't make a sound. So it's kind of like Hush. It's like you better be quiet or he's going to find you.
You better watch out.
Yeah, exactly. And then...
You better not cry.
And then with the other one, it's like you can be as loud as you want, but you better not let her see you. And also... You're kind of screwed because you can't really be as loud as you want either, because just because you can't hear doesn't mean you can't feel vibrations.
So they're in this house, right? Jim Halpert and Emily Blunt are in this house with their 2 kids.
Subject.
And they're very scared of this thing. They've obviously been attacked before. They've been preparing this whole time. Jim Halpert throws like
it looks like flour.
Sand or flour all over wherever
sand
they're walking, and they're they walk on that and they don't make any noise. Everyone's in their bare feet all the time.
It's kind of cool.
Why why haven't they moved?
Because clearly they live in a world where this is a thing.
Oh, so is it just everywhere?
I think so. I think that probably some sort of alien creature has taken over the world. But the thing here's the thing for me. If you can try hard enough, basically, they figured out that if they laid flour out, you could step quietly outside because it's hard not to, you don't want to break branches and stuff and be loud outside. So they have a big trail of flour. Okay, cool. And then they figured out which spots on their wooden floor creak, and they have they
painted
the area where you can step.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, if they have spent enough time going creak, oh, that one creaks, put a spot there. If they've done that, then that would mean that they've spent a lot of time testing things out. So I'm just trying to figure out, how would you have had time to figure that out without getting caught? If literally one sound, because it looks like one little sound happens and then they're screwed.
Well, it was a big sound. It was
true, but still.
The little kid knocked over a kerosene lamp and broke it. And
boom, lit the rug on fire right away. And John Krasinski really quickly threw a blanket over
Jim
it.
Halpert.
But yeah, I mean, so that's my only, my biggest, not concern, but my biggest issue.
Tall, queer, handsome as ever. Okay. Hey, everyone, look at me. I'm Jim.
That is Charlie's impression of Packer.
Local Kansas City native.
Talking about Jim.
David Koechner.
From The Office. But no, that's my only issue with it. I'm like, how on earth did you find where all the sound was without getting killed? If you're trying that hard to be quiet. They've taught themselves sign language, or at least some sort of sign language.
Well, that's how they talk.
I know. That's crazy. Think about how long it would take. If you and I just all of a sudden were like, we can't talk or we're going to die.
Oh, we'd figure it out.
Yeah, but it would be hard. I would try to write more than anything.
Yeah, but you have terrible handwriting.
Type on my phone. It looks like they don't have any phones in this world. Looks like kind of an isolated
That's the thing I'm confused about. So if the whole world has these things, right? This is the way you choose to combat it? Not just like living underground or in a soundproof place?
Well, it's probably hard to figure out because you all have to be quiet, so it's hard to organize large groups of people. Also, I'm guessing that
houseboat.
This is what I'm guessing, that these things, whatever
solves
they are,
all problems.
I'm just guessing that these things, whatever they are, have wreaked so much havoc elsewhere, and probably what happened was John Krasinski and his family weren't harmed by them because they were way out on their own huge thing of land. These things probably invaded cities first, so they probably heard about it.
Oh, heard about it?
Yeah, they probably heard about it, maybe in the news or whatever, and they decided to try and protect themselves. Like, they probably thought to themselves, they'll never make it out here. Like, why would they find us? How would they find us?
No, and John Krasinski and Emily Blunt play themselves in this movie?
No.
No?
I mean, they play husband and wife, and they are husband and wife.
That'd be funny, though.
I did think about that, though. I was like, what if this movie was just John Krasinski and Emily Blunt playing in a movie where they live in this world? Like, I think that would be kind of funny.
Yeah.
If it was like John and Emily.
And so... I'm worried about this movie, but only because of John Krasinski hasn't directed before, and
but you said he has.
Well, yeah, he has. I mean, but not
got you with your
good.
own words.
And then it's seemingly he only directs things that he paid to have made. You know what I mean?
Oh, did he pay for this? Do you know?
No, not this one, but the other ones.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So the fact that some studio got behind it.
And also the writers have never written anything of note before.
Okay. Well, you got to get your start somewhere.
I mean, John Krasinski has a writing credit. I also think he probably has a few, what?
Sicario was a great movie, and that guy had never written really anything before.
Well, yeah.
So I'm just saying you got to get your start somewhere. As a writer.
That's true. But I do like the concept of it, and I think it looks good.
Yeah, I think visually it's really stunning.
And I think
really like that.
The direction in this movie especially is more important than others.
Yeah, one thing that concerned me the first time I saw it, I was like, wow, that was really beautifully shot. Like, really good.
That is concerning.
But my worry is that it will literally be silent the whole time, except for the monsters and maybe some screaming. And I I'm a person who is obsessed with talking. I love to talk. I don't know if I can handle a movie where there's no dialogue.
No, there's not going to be any.
I know. That's what I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It looks like it's well made, but I don't know if I can
they'll
enjoy
talk with sign language, and they'll probably give you subtitles.
No, but they didn't give subtitles in the thing.
But they probably will.
No, if they don't, that's my whole issue. I don't think they're going to. I think it's going to be too artsy because they're not going to give subtitles. You're just going to have to kind of figure it out as you go, like what they're trying to say with their sign language.
No, I don't think so. That doesn't make any sense.
I think they want you to see what it feels like to be in their world.
Well, you would if there were subtitles, it would feel like you're in their world because they can understand.
Yeah, well, that's fine, but then why in hell?
Why in hell
did they not put that in the trailer? They had a whole scene in the trailer where they talked to each other across the table with sign language.
It was just they did they just like went back and forth.
Why did they not show subtitles? I feel like they needed to let me know that there was going to be subtitles if I was going to watch this movie. I gotta know going in that there's going to be some sort of conversation, even if it's subtitles and silence. Because honestly, that would be really cool too if it was just subtitles and complete silence. Like, imagine how cool it would be if you were somebody who speaks sign language. Maybe you're deaf, maybe you're born deaf or something. Imagine how cool it would be to go to a movie in theater where they're legitimately using sign language the whole time and everybody else has to read subtitles. You know, like, it would be cool. It would be like, wow, that's what my world is like, and people get to see my quiet world. That'd be kind of cool. And also
there's a lot of people.
That was a weird transition. Go on.
Yeah, because I was thinking there's a whole bunch of times.
You're saying, and also from what your thoughts in your head were saying.
There's a lot of times when you see people who, you know, their main communication is sign language, complain about how movies don't get it right at all.
Yeah, and I saw that.
They just like take liberties with.
Well, I saw that online. There's this great video, one of those short videos on Facebook that, you know, different, you know, the little videos.
A video essay?
But it was showing some people who actually are deaf, talking about how they don't use deaf actors to play deaf people a lot. And there are deaf actors out there, and it frustrates them because they showed the difference between, they showed like actual scenes from movies, and then they showed actual deaf people doing those scenes, and it just looks totally different. And it's like, technically they got some of it right, maybe not all of it, but it's just not the same. It's almost like speaking, they got the dialect wrong. You know what I mean? Like, it's something that's
so you could tell.
Like they were saying, like in the video, the people who were signing were saying, it's like if you decided to do a movie in Spanish and you've never spoken Spanish and you get the role. And then you just have to memorize each line by line, and you don't really know it.
Well, and it's also like how whenever there's lawyers in a movie and people who are actual real lawyers are just like,
they're like, what?
None of that is allowed.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's the thing. It would be, I mean, they would never do that though. They would never have, unless you're doing like Casa de Mi Padre, which was a joke, but like they wouldn't have a movie where like a person like Jennifer Aniston would play somebody who speaks Spanish the whole way through, because it would just sound like she was reciting lines, and it wouldn't be good. It would be so much effort to get her to sound right. But
well,
the thing
and also
is, with sign language, they don't know that they don't sound or
in The Foreigner.
Look right.
When we saw Pierce Brosnan and he's the bad guy in The Foreigner, well, kind of, and he's like really super Irish.
Yeah.
And
that was surprising.
We were both like, we have no idea whether that's a good Irish accent or a really stereotypical bad Irish
I'm like,
accent.
I don't know if I've ever met an actual Irish person with an accent, and I can't tell. It sounded good to me, but what do I know? And I guess that's the thing. Most directors probably haven't grown up learning sign language, so they can't tell that the person's doing a terrible job. And they don't think of it like a language. They think of it like a dance move or something that you can just learn. But it's not that simple. You can't learn a language overnight. And
a dance move.
Yeah. But it's not choreography. It really is a language.
Speaking of director, though.
Okay, go on.
John Krasinski directing.
That's my noise of switching tracks.
I'm not super convinced that John Krasinski is like a good actor. Like, I know that Emily Blunt is.
He is. She's a great actor.
Yeah.
I think that he is a good actor, and he
the
could do
problem
better
is
given
that
the chance.
Since he's not the exceptional actor and he's the director,
and
there will be no one.
Well, not necessarily.
There will be no one to tell him do this better. It'll just be his own instincts.
Yeah, but imagine if you and I were actors.
Well, that's a completely different story.
No. But imagine, okay, we're husband and wife. Imagine if we're actors.
Yeah, but you're overly critical.
You're directing a movie. and you do something and I think it's not right.
Yeah,
I'm going to say it.
We would throw down.
No, but at some point I'd be like, babe, I don't think you're really doing it right. Can we figure this out? And you'd be like, well, what's wrong? And I'd be like, well, it kind of feels like this. And
Shut it down.
We'd talk about it is the point. I think that Emily Blunt is a great actress. And in any other circumstance, if she didn't like somebody's acting, she probably wouldn't feel that comfortable going to the director and being like, I do not like my coworker. They're doing a crappy job. But because it's her husband, she can easily say, hey, have you thought about doing it like this? You know, like, hey, I like when they're watching the scene after it's done, she can be like, let's take another shot and let's try it differently.
I'm sure John loved that part of the the process.
They clearly are in love and they're very obviously happy together. I think that they probably have good communication skills because I think most people who make it and are still in love in marriage, it's because they have good communication skills.
How many times do you think John Krasinski looks directly into the camera in this movie?
I don't think that much. Why? Are you just trying to, compare it to The Office?
Making an Office reference / joke.
Oh, haha!
Good Lord. All right, let's move on to where, when, and how you're going to see this movie.
Okay.
Where? When? How? Are you going to see this movie?
All right, so I do want to see this movie, which is shocking because it is a scary movie.
But you wanted to see Don't Breathe also.
Yeah, kind of, but I was also terrified. Like, I didn't want to see it in theater, and I feel the same about this because here's the thing. The movie's going to be really quiet. That means there's going to be jump scares. There has to be because at some point there's going to be noise. And it's going to scare you because you know that noise equals bad, right?
Is that right?
Yeah. Well, think about it. It's kind of like in The Village. When you see red, you're like, oh, no, bad color. It's scary. It seems
or when you
like
see purple in Jessica Jones.
Yeah. Danger is nearby. So if you hear sound, you're going to jump. You're going to be scared. And jump scares freak me the hell out. I don't think I could handle it in theater where it's just like you're in a theater and it's dead quiet. And
that would be the worst part.
You hear people with their popcorn and stuff anyway in theaters. Just imagine, and like Charlie and I love to go to Alamo Drafthouse where it's like an eat-in theater, and I get annoyed sometimes during quiet parts of the movies when I can hear people's forks like scraping against things. Yeah, it's just a silent movie and you just hear like, that's my candy bag noise.
That's what a candy bag sounds like to you?
Clink, 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 clink.
That's not a candy bag.
Fork. That's the fork. No, but that would be annoying, first of all. I mean, even if you go to regular theater, people got the popcorn and stuff. But also, it would just be terrifying. If, let's say, everybody was really quiet, then it would just be, you'd be in a dark, silent room with a bunch of strangers, and then every once in a while something scary would happen. I just think it's a little too much for me, but I do want to see it, and I kind of want to see it a lot. I think it looks good.
I have a feeling that I will end up seeing this. I have a feeling it's going to end up on Netflix, first of all.
That would be awesome.
Fairly quickly.
Do it.
I love it. I have a feeling I'm going to end up watching it on Netflix, and I'll end up watching it by myself. Yeah. After suggesting it to you
several times,
upwards of 12 times.
That sounds like what's actually going to happen. But I really want to see it. Like, that's the thing. Okay, I'm such a chicken. I hate scary movies. And if I do like a scary movie, it has to be really, really good. So I've said it before, but I'll say it again. The scary movies that I do like are The Others with Nicole Kidman. I like Psycho, the original. I actually liked Carrie because most of that movie was not scary. It was really interesting.
Scary Carrie?
Way of doing a scary movie, and I loved 10 Cloverfield Lane, which I would consider a horror movie.
I think that you would like Creep.
I might like Creep, and I might even see it
It's
sometime.
really intense,
but
and
I know what happens.
Anxiety filled. Like, you're anxious the whole time.
Yeah, and I hate that.
But it's really good.
That's the thing, honestly.
And the coolest thing about it is just that it's two people the whole time. And pretty much only one person the whole time. And that's also kind of what I like about this movie, is that there's
four of them.
4 people on the cast, basically.
Yeah.
And truly there's 2, because those kids are probably not going to be on screen as much.
But yeah, okay, so the thing is, so I like those movies, and to me, those are really well-made movies, like excellent movies, really good scripts, great actors. But I think a big part of the reason I like all of those movies is because it's not constantly nerve-wracking. I've seen movies like, for instance, Cellular, I think, or I can't remember what it's called. The one that came out a couple years ago or maybe even 3 or 4 years ago with Halle Berry, and the girl calls her 911 from the trunk of a car?
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, that movie, I went and saw it with a friend. I literally was like grabbing my friend's arm and squeezing it the whole time, and like my whole body was tense for an entire movie, and I don't like that feeling. Like maybe some people do, or maybe some people don't get tense the whole time, but I don't like going to a movie where afterwards my muscles will be sore because I've been just completely shriveled up and just rigid.
The guy who wrote Creep is the same guy who wrote The Overnight.
Oh, that's weird. It's a real weird movie.
It is weird.
Good movie, but weird.
But it has kind of that same thing. So like The Overnight is more of a comedy.
Yeah, but it is kind of creepy.
But it has that same thing where the whole time you're just like, is this
is weird.
Bad what's happening, or is this normal, or what's going on? Yeah.
Well, anyway, but yeah, so I'm just saying this movie to me looks like a good movie because it does look like it's just interesting. And I'm curious about it.
Yeah.
I want to see it, but in reality, it is way more likely that you'll say, "Hey, do you want to watch A Quiet Place?" And I'll be like, "No, I'm not in the mood for something scary." And that'll happen like 12 times, and then you'll watch it on your own one night.
I don't think that it's because he's from The Office, but I think there's something because there's other people that I do take seriously from The Office. But
who?
Steve Carell. Rashida Jones, I would if she was in something serious.
I take her less seriously than John Krasinski. I don't think she's a great actress.
Probably Pam, Jenna Fisher.
I don't know.
Rainn Wilson, I would if he did something serious, but I don't think he ever has.
Yeah, sure. I could take him okay. I could take him seriously. Ed Helms, obviously, because we know he's a good actor.
From that one movie with Jason Segel. I guess the thing is,
the people that you think you take seriously are the ones who you've seen in other things, and they are good, for the most part. There's something
about him and his face, even when he's like not all skinny, goofy guy, he still looks like why why am I watching this guy?
He has the nose of a kind, silly man.
Oh.
It's the nose. Because like in this one, he has a huge beard in this one, like a big, thick beard.
If we named our episodes as quotes from the episode, that would be...
He has a nose of a kind, silly man.
Yeah.
He does, though. I mean, you know what I mean? I think his nose is super unique, and that's honestly the thing that sets him apart from every other, like, just stereotypical white guy. But he has this big beard in this one, but you still see his silly nose. It's like a...
He's always got like a scowl on the whole thing.
Like a little bulb at the end of it. You know what I mean? Like a little round, shiny little bulb at the end of it. It's almost like Rudolph. Here we go. Christmas time.
Christmas time. All right.
Hang on.
Oh.
Wait. So what I'm saying is...
So you get more to talk about his nose?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No.
More about Jim's nose.
I think that the reason you don't take him seriously, you say you would take Jenna Fisher seriously, but I don't think you would. I think that it's the people you've already seen.
She was in that one movie that was fine.
It was not good.
No.
I enjoyed it, but it wasn't good.
It wasn't
no, but she
bad
wasn't
because
great.
of her.
It was just like a basic rom-com. It wasn't great. She wasn't great. It was fine. Everything
about
that was
mediocre.
That
movie was bad.
Yeah, you hated it, and it was mediocre.
I just remember that one part where she's all freaking out.
Well, anyway, the point is, I think the reason you don't take these people seriously is because you have yet to see them in a movie. Like, there's no way if you had just seen Steve Carell as Michael Scott that you would take him seriously as an actor. But you had seen him in lots of movies. He's been in lots of things. Same thing with Ed Helms. So you've gotten the opportunity to see their range, but we don't know his range.
I don't think he has a range.
See, I feel like that's unfair of you. He's been in like 2 things other than The Office, so that's unfair.
But it's just like, think about how much stuff Mark Wahlberg has been in. I can't take him seriously.
Well, that's your own fault. I don't understand.
Because he's Mark Wahlberg. Look at him. It's Marky Mark.
I don't understand you because he's great.
It's like his character is Marky Mark saying the lines of whatever character he's supposed to be. All
right, so on to
what?
The next
Which is?
Phase.
What is it?
Rotten Tomato scores.
Boo, boo. Rotten Tomatoes percentages. All right, Rotten Tomatoes percentages.
Okay,
I'm going to go first. And I am going to say, let's do something. Let's do something fun here. Let's go with it as it's going to be a surprise hit. And it's going to be a surprise hit amongst critics mostly.
Okay.
All right, so it's going to be a 79% from critics.
Nice.
All right.
Wow.
And it's going to be a 57% from audience.
Okay, well, I was going to
because there's no talking.
Yeah. I was going to give it a 73% from critics because I do think that they will like the uniqueness of it, that they will like the extent they went to keep it quiet. Like, the movie is going to be, like, annoyingly quiet, I think. At times you're going to be like, I can't handle how quiet this
I will
is.
subtract 20%, though, if it's a CGI monster that shows up before the last 2 minutes of the movie.
Fair enough. Yeah. And I do think there's going to be a lot. Like, it showed a bunch of stuff in quick motion of, like, the kids running, her screaming in the bathtub or looking like she was trying to scream but quietly.
That was weird.
Why?
I don't know. It didn't fit with the rest of it.
I thought it was good. Because, like, I'm not sure if they just made it look quiet and she was actually screaming, but I think she was, like, screaming silently. Like, it was, like, a weird, like, she wanted to scream, but she couldn't. I don't know. It was creepy. But, yeah, I think the acting is going to be really good, but I think that it's going to be annoyingly quiet, but that the critics will appreciate that, the extent, the, like, effort they put into this, that they were bold enough to do it, you know? And I think the audience won't like it as much. I'll say 62%. I still think they'll like it.
Basically copying my scores.
That's not true.
Basically.
Anyway, you and I have similar personalities, so we have similar opinions.
Sure.
But no, okay. I think that people will like this, but the thing is, it is hard to know what audience will think because most people who go see horror movies like horror movies. And people who like horror movies get really disappointed when it's not what they expect. I've noticed. Like, people did not like The Witch.
Yeah.
People hated The Witch.
Well, but
they said it was boring and it wasn't scary. Exactly. Because critics don't go in saying, I hope that this is what I expect. They go in saying, I wonder if this will surprise me. I wonder if this will be different or interesting in some way. They're thinking of it critically.
Oh.
I didn't even mean to do it like that. But no, really, like, they are. The average person doesn't go into a movie and think of it critically. They're not like, I wonder if this is interesting or new in some way. I wonder if the filming is good. They just go in and they have a guttural reaction to it.
A gutterball reaction.
Yeah, just like a natural reaction to it.
You liked that, didn't you?
I think that was funny.
Good wordplay.
But, you know, I think that's okay, but I do wish that the average audience viewer would be a little more critical.
Yeah.
Like, because I think that it would be better for them if they demanded better of people.
Yeah, and we could have, you know, not all these terrible DC movies happening.
Exactly. Wow. Somehow...
And we're back. We landed back on DC.
Somehow we did a weird, quiet John Krasinski film, and you brought it back to DC.
Hey.
People who like DC will hate us. And you know what? There are some really intense fans out there. And if they ever stumble upon any of our episodes... the chances are we say something bad about the DC films.
That's true.
And then they just turn away from us forever.
You know what, though?
I don't like that. I want them. I want the DC fans.
There was a rumor about how John Krasinski was going to be in a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
At some point.
I remember that.
And
that would be so weird.
It would be weird.
Almost as weird as Paul Rudd being in a Marvel movie.
Right, exactly. Or Chris Pratt.
They made it work.
I thought it would be weird. It probably would not work at all. But think about him as Mr. Fantastic. As Reed Richards.
I just don't have any frame of reference. I've seen two Fantastic Four movies, and that's it. I don't know anything about them. So
here's the thing.
It
wouldn't work. It would be bad. Because he's supposed to be the smartest man in the universe, and he's supposed to be a very, like, you know, follow the rules.
Well respected.
But
the point I'm just trying to make is that you do that a lot. You'll be like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if so-and-so was the thing? And I'm like, I don't know anything about the Fantastic Four. All I know about the Fantastic Four
study up.
Is that they're not that interesting.
Study up, girl.
They so far have never had a great movie, and nobody seems to know how to do it in such a way where it's good, so I feel like they can't be that interesting. They have, like, one of the lamest names of any group of superheroes. The Fantastic Four. It's just like the guy who came up with the name for Best Buy. We'll just name the store the Best Buy that you can get.
They were like the first
It's just
ones,
annoying.
man.
Exactly. And they didn't put a lot of creativity into it.
There's a lot of really great Fantastic Four stories that you should read.
Mr. Fantastic is his name.
Well, his name's Reed Richards.
And then the Fantastic Four. It's just lame.
They don't really have alter egos.
Yeah, that's fine. But the point is...
That's kind of the cool thing about them, is that they're just like... celebrities.
The point is, we digress.
That are out and about.
If you're a big DC fan and somehow you were able to enjoy the DC movies, bravo for you. Bravo, I guess. However, I hope that you hope for better, because you know what? You deserve better. So listen to me, DC fan. Don't turn us off.
Oh, hey, did you see that video that was showing the opening scene from Justice League that showed Henry Cavill's mustache CGI'd off?
No.
It's so
I heard
bad.
it didn't look as bad as people made it look when they took little clips of it.
It's real bad.
Well, anyway, but the thing is, all I'm saying is, please don't turn us off just because we are DC haters. We're not DC haters. We're Zack Snyder haters, and we're haters of his movies.
Yes. I love Batman. Batman's great.
Everybody loves Batman, and I love Superman. Charlie didn't grow up with Superman, but I did. I love Superman. I watched a lot of Smallville.
He's a little too impervious for my liking.
But the point is, obviously, I'm 100% behind Wonder Woman.
Hey-oh.
You know, so I like Patty Jenkins. I just don't like Zack Snyder. And you can still be our friend and our listener. So that's all. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm going to close out with a couple of plugs here.
And also a announcement.
Oh, an announcement.
You want to do that first?
Yeah, so we're going to be taking some time off. Is that what you're...
Well, yeah, we'll just see you next year, basically. We're not going to have a couple episodes for the next couple weeks.
So we got a lot going on for the holidays. I'm sure you do too. And so, yeah, we're going to see you next year.
We will have some blogs that will be released, though. Bethany's going to have one, and then my brother is putting
guest
one up.
Writer.
Yeah, guest writing.
Ghost writer.
About potential theories of what the next Avengers is going to turn into. So Avengers 4, I guess.
Okay. Well, so keep an eye out for our blogs at mttpodcast.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Movie Trailer Trash Podcast. And if you do that, if you like us there, we will definitely post our blogs there so you can see them there. Also, at MTT Podcast on Twitter. We'll post stuff up there. And most importantly, please tell your friends about us. Please like and comment and interact with us, especially if you can go to iTunes and rate and review.
Yeah, and if you're going on a road trip for the holidays, just download 70 episodes and just listen to them all the way through.
Just like the most recent 70 episodes.
Yeah.
You can skip the first 10 or so.
Yeah, skip the first 10.
That's when we were figuring it out still.
Yeah.
We got a lot to talk about for movies. So, and next year, get ready for our second annual Trashy Awards.
Yes.
Right?
That will
We're
happen.
going to do the Trashies.
Well, that'll happen
probably February.
Later. Yeah, February.
But
we'll also do a top 5 of 2017.
Yes.
Episode.
And I really enjoyed that episode last year.
Yeah. And also, the Trashies might line up with our 100th episode.
Oh, that would be awesome. All right. Well, we will see you guys later. Happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. I hope you have a great time with your friends and family.
Goodbye.
Bye.